Hey, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is doing well out there. And today I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to go over some movie news. I might make this a regular segment on my channel. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Maybe once or twice a week, I'll just make a video going down some of the movie news that interests me, mostly horror, but some other news as well that catches my eye. And today I'm going to start off with some Hellraiser news. Who would have thought? I know about 3 to 5 years ago, Clive Barker came out and said they're actively working on a remake. It never materialized. But we got some news. HBO announced that they are in active development on a Hellraiser series that'll be on HBO Network, or an HBO station. And they hired David Gordon Green, who is just coming off of Halloween 2018, which was a huge hit. And he directed Halloween Kills, which hopefully we'll see in October, but who knows with all the movies being pushed back. And he's going to direct Halloween Ends to complete his trilogy of Halloween films. So they definitely got my interest there. He's going to direct a pilot episode and a few other episodes in the series. And then they'll hire out other directors, I'm sure. But also, the other interesting news about this Hellraiser news is Michael Daugherty was hired as one of the writers of the series. Michael Daugherty wrote and directed Trick or Treat, which I absolutely love, and it's become a Halloween staple for many, including myself. And then he also wrote and directed Krampus, which is a terrific creature feature movie, a Christmas-themed creature feature movie. I love that movie. And he also did Godzilla King of the Monsters last summer, which I know a lot of people had problems with, and I agree. The human story element sucked for the most part. I do enjoy the monsters, though. The designs were cool. I thought the fights were pretty well handled. But yes, that movie is kind of a mess. But still, Michael Daugherty, it'll be interesting to see. I think he's a pretty damn good writer. Plus, he had a hand in X-Men back in the day and all that stuff. So he's one of the writers on the series. And being that it's going to be on HBO, they can go crazy with the gore and the insanity of it, which lends itself heavily to Hellraiser. If you've ever seen if you've ever seen any Hellraisers, but especially the first two, they're very gory, very graphic, and there's some messed up shit in those movies. And that's why we love those movies. And on HBO, they can go crazy. They're not going to be limited by a rating. They can go balls out. So it should be interesting to see what happens with it. And they're gonna keep the established lore. This is not going to be a remake from what I've read. They're going to go off of established lore, which I would assume, but you know what happens when you assume, that they're going to go off the first two movies. I would assume the best two, because it kind of became a dumpster fire as you go down the line. I mean, Hellraiser is a perfect example of a series that was not taken seriously later on. The Dimensions only made movies to keep the rights, and they didn't care about quality. I love the first two. I have a soft spot for 3 and 4. But after 4, which was a theatrical release, they all went to direct-to-video. And if you know anything about the series, well, plus the Weinsteins kind of screwed a lot of directors over, but they would take scripts that had nothing to do with Hellraiser, insert Pinhead and the Cenobites in them, and make it a Hellraiser film. And I've seen a bunch of those direct-to-video ones. They suck. I have not seen the last one, which some people say was pretty good. I have not seen it, so I can't comment on it. So I'm just going by what I've seen. It's been a long time since Hellraiser's been taken seriously. So it'll be cool to see them actually take it seriously and give us a quality show. I'm excited about it. Actually, this news gets me excited. That's not the only Hellraiser news, though. They've also announced they're actually going to remake the original Hellraiser. David Bruckner was brought in. He's tapped to be the director, if that holds true. He even commented, he goes, it's going to be R-rated, and they're not going to hold anything back, which is nice to hear. Honestly, you can't make a PG-13 Hellraiser film. How the hell did you do that? The whole point of the film is suffering. And really, you got to go balls out if you're going to do it. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. David Bruckner had The Ritual that came out on Netflix last year. If you haven't seen that, it's a pretty good horror movie. Although I will say I didn't feel like they stuck the landing all that well. The ending kind of lost me. But the rest of the movie was damn good. We got some Hellraiser news, which is kind of exciting because nothing really good with Hellraiser has happened in a long, long time. On to Halloween Kills, which I hope gets released in October, but we'll see what happens. A lot of movies are getting pushed back, and they were already supposed to be in production on Halloween Ends, and they obviously not because nothing's being produced right now. But Halloween Kills, one of the screenwriters, Scott Teems, was interviewed, and he made a comment about the sequel that it's bigger, badder, and meaner. And there was also, I guess supposedly there was a test screening before all this shit happened, and it got very positive responses from the audience. And that's exciting because supposedly 2018's Halloween did poorly in test screenings. God knows if that's true. There's a lot of rumors that were floating around at the time. And they went back and they did do reshoots, though. And they reshot the ending of Halloween 2018. But I love that movie. I still enjoy it a lot. I think it's a damn good sequel. So we'll see what happens. But as we all know, test screenings can screw a movie as well. Example, Halloween Resurrection. They added more Busta Rhymes to that shit show because of a test screening. And knowing that makes me lose faith in humanity. No, just joking. But still, test screenings have also screwed movies over the years as well. But yes, Halloween Kills is supposed to be bigger, badder, and meaner. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully we get to see it. But we'll find out soon. God knows what's going to happen with all this stuff going on. Also, a little bit of Goonies news. They had an online thing with the original cast of Goonies. Josh Gad was having it. I think it was for charity or something. And they were discussing the film, and Steven Spielberg popped into the discussion. And, of course, it came around because over the years there's been rumors that are going to do a Goonies sequel. And it always kind of pops up and then goes away, and then maybe a year later it pops up again and goes away, and nothing's ever happened. And some of the cast have expressed interest in doing it, but again, nothing's been official. Steven Spielberg said they've had many good ideas over the years, just it never came to fruition, and he doesn't know if it's ever going to happen, pretty much. He said if they really get a good idea, they might do it, but it's one of those things. Who knows? And at this point, do you really want a sequel? Maybe some of us do. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm kind of on the fence. I like the original movie, and I've watched it with my son, and he loves it. For obvious reasons, it's built for a kid, and it's a kid adventure movie, and it's a fun time. But we'll see what happens. I mean, this rumor pops up every now and then, and they'll get a quote from somebody to keep the rumor mill going, but we'll see. On to the theater chains at all-out war with Universal, it seems. Now, Universal took their movie Trolls World Tour, which I have not seen, but I'm just going by what I know. And they released it straight to VOD. It was supposed to come out in theaters earlier in April, but theaters are closed. So they just took it and released it right on VOD. They're really the first studio to do that with a big budget movie just to go right to VOD. Now, I know Invisible Man and The Hunt did it, but they were already in theaters. I know The Hunt was only in for like a week, and then they went straight to VOD because they were trying to make money. It was already out there. And Invisible Man was already out like 3 or 4 weeks before they closed the theaters, so they just put it on VOD to make, so people could see it. But Universal was the first one to pull that move, and the Universal execs came out and pretty much said they made a lot of money off of it and actually made more money than they did for the whole theatrical run of the first movie. I don't know if that's true, but that's what's being reported. Well, AMC did not, and they went on to say, This gets us thinking about future endeavors of releasing a movie theatrically and on VOD at the same time. Well, this pissed off AMC something fierce, and they came out and said, if Universal does that, or if they're willing to do that, then we're not going to show any more Universal pictures in our theaters. Now, AMC is like one of the biggest theater chains in the country. So that's a pretty bold statement by AMC. Well, the next day, Regal and Cinemark, who are also big theater chains, jumped on that bandwagon and said they will no longer show Universal films in their theaters if that's the road they're going to take. And then the National Association of Theater Owners came out and said pretty much gave Universal a stern warning about this, that they have an agreement about, major theatrical releases are supposed to go in theaters for so long before they can release them on streaming. And they don't think it shows bad faith on Universal's part. I mean, it's a really crazy situation. Now, who knows what's going to happen after all this stuff's over? Because AMC last week was reported that they were going to file for bankruptcy. They're in a tough spot. They've been spending tons of money on upgrading their theaters and whatnot. And with this shutdown, they're not making any money. So they're not looking the greatest. I don't know how the other theater chains are doing. You don't hear much about Regal or Cinemark, really, but I can't imagine any of them doing really well. I mean, I know Regal's been investing in their theaters late. They've been going theater by theater and putting new seats in certain ones and spending a lot of money. So who knows what's going to happen when this is all over, but I can't see them not be able to afford to not release or put Universal Pictures in their theaters, because you got Jurassic World coming out next year, which is a huge movie. Fast and the Furious, which is going to be a huge movie. And other film, Halloween Kills is a Universal picture. Are we not going to see Halloween Kills in a Regal or that? I go to Regal all the time. It's right around the corner from my house. I don't know. We'll see how this plays out. It's very interesting, though, to see them battling like that. I know this opens up a lot of discussions about how, studios can make money in the VOD market. I think if they keep the budgets reasonably, they can. But if it's a movie I really, really want to see, I prefer to see it on a big screen. That's just my opinion. You may feel differently. We all have different opinions on that. But anyway, that's all the movie news I have for you for today. Let me know in the comments down below if you enjoyed this video. Critique me. Tell me what you liked, what you didn't like. I'd be interested because it's something I'm thinking about doing going forward, maybe once or twice a week. And I hope you all stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. I will be back soon. I'll see you later.